Good evening and welcome along to Matchday Live for another Friday evening feast of football. The last time Leicester played on a Friday, they beat Birmingham 2-0 at home. A repeat of that tonight, this time away, would be very, very good, wouldn't it, for Marty Cifuentes and his Leicester side. We are half an hour away from kick-off at the Hawthorns, and we've got all the build-up right here on Fox's Hub with a man who scored a hat-trick in a Leicester shirt away at West Brom, Steve Howard, and a man fresh from seeing Robbie Williams in concert in Matt Elliott.
I don't know what the relation is there. You get that quiet, Steve.
Well,
I was going to talk about it for the next 30 minutes or so,
yeah. I was going to mention it there.
Yeah, hat-trick at the Hawthorns.
Yeah.
Jordan, are you coming up with one of those tonight, hopefully?
That'll be nice. Yeah, absolutely. But, yeah, it was nice. I remember that fondly, yeah.
Good evening to you.
I'm still getting over. I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Hat trick.
Oh, wow.
I think Stevie. Wow. Was it the perfect hat trick? Or?
No, it wasn't. No, there was a penalty in there. So that's the season we got relegated. But so you know, we're sort
It's
of
been wiped from memory, hasn't it?
that.
Yeah.
Every silver lining's got a cloud, eh?
And good evening to you, Matt. Obviously, you weren't with us, were you, on Saturday for the Coventry game? But you're back tonight.
Yeah. Kept tabs on it from afar, but not a bad performance by all accounts, and the little bits that I've seen, and if anything, Leicester with a better side, but it wasn't to be. But we were talking before we came on air. It's a couple of draws now, isn't it, on the trot? So tough fixture away from home, West Brom. A lot of people's not favourites, but fancy to be up there in and around it come the end of the season. Time will tell, but. It would be lovely to pick up the 3 points, wouldn't it? A point away from home at West Brom is not a bad result, but 3 draws on the trot is not what Leicester need right now. So it's finding that balance, isn't it? But looking forward to the game, should be good.
Yeah, do you go along with that? A draw probably away at West Brom throughout a season is a good result, but off the back of 2 draws already, they'll be fancying a win, and I think they'll be disappointed they didn't beat Coventry at the weekend.
I think they've got to just get back to winning ways. I think Matt missed a good point. Your 3 draw, you take a point absolutely at West Brom, but on the back of, and then you're thinking 3 draws. We're going to get back to winning ways, but it's a Friday night game under the lights. The atmosphere is going to be good. There'll be a full house there. It's always a great atmosphere there. So it should be a cracking game.
Hopefully so. If you're joining us on YouTube, please do get involved in the comments section. If you've got a question for either of these two as well, please do get that in. Jenny Ferguson says, come on Leicester. Warren Dickens says, Foxes 3-1. Lily says, hi to all the Leicester fans. Hello to you, Lily. And Bubba, as always, he's got to get a mention, Matt, hasn't he? Joining us from Happy Hour in the US. They need it with the way the golf is going at the moment for them, which is good. But everyone obviously in the comments wants a Leicester victory. 3-1, that seemed ambitious, but actually you could see Leicester hopefully, touch wood, Matt, going to the Hawthorns tonight and picking a result up.
Yeah, obviously that's the intention, isn't it? I think in this league, Leicester have got to have the mentality that that they genuinely believe that they're going to win every game. Because if they're going to achieve their target come the end of the season, that's the mentality they need to have. But again, we were just talking before coming on air that how much of a grind it is in this division. I know it's been said many times before, but you can't get away from that. And ability and tactics and structure and talent, they're all important aspects of it. But it's a mentality, I think, more than anything. Get yourselves ready for the challenge that there is tonight. Week in and week out, and sometimes twice in that week, as we find this coming few days. And another big game lurks with Wrexham. We can't worry about that just yet. But you've got to be resilient. You've got to be show a bit of durability, haven't you, in this division? And we've both had experiences in it, and we both agree that it's not about necessarily playing the prettiest football in the world. But Leicester did that to a degree 2 years ago. But it's having that sort of aptitude and up for the fight, up for the challenge, as they were against Oxford, for instance. But they weren't so much in the first half, nearly got caught out. Second half, the attitude was bang on, and that's what will carry them through.
I think you mentioned two seasons ago. I think the games I saw that the mentality was right. You know, they thought we're going to win every game, and I think that's what you got to do in the Championship, because it's just getting tougher and tougher. You know, that the quality's so high now in the Championship. It's even harder to get out, and it's one of them, as we know, you've just got to battle your way in. You know, you got to get your mentality right, and as long as you stay focused and think, you know, even, you know, we'll talk tonight against, you know, West Brom, and you just think, if you can pick up a point away from in your home away games and win your home games, that's, you know, that's what you need to get out of this division.
Yeah. From a team news point of view, it's extremely simple tonight. That is because Martí Cifuentes has named an unchanged side to the one that drew 0-0 with Coventry at the weekend. And this is the 11 minutes. Vlasic in goal. Ricardo, Fast, Vestergaard and Thomas across the back four. Samari and Winks in midfield with Fatawu. Jordan James, the new signing, of course, on loan. He is in that number 10 role in behind Jordan Ayew, and it's Stefik Mavididi off the left. It's the exact same bench as well that faced the Sky Blues on Saturday. Begovic, Akoli, Dekodovereed, Christensen, Chowdhury, Carranza, Daka, Skip and Jeremy Monga make up the substitutes bench today. I guess one half of the team will be thinking more of the same of what happened at the weekend. That's the defensive side, Matt. The attackers will think, if we do our job, we get on the score sheet, then, you know, the 3 points is there for Leicester to take. What do you think of the team?
Yeah, no, that reflects a reasonable performance at very least, doesn't it, against Coventry, picking the same team, showing faith in that. There'll be a few variables within it over the course of the season, but it seems to be setting a little bit of a pattern now, I think. You know, that you do sometimes get a first team within a strong squad as well. One or two players come in and assist, but you know, overall, the team and the squad, I keep finding myself saying it, at this level, in this division, it's pretty handy. It's pretty handy, I think. You know, not many teams have got that quality, that array of international players there throughout the squad that Leicester can call upon. Winks, a lot of people have been asking for him to be in the starting lineup. Seems like he's got himself back. Back in, not in the frame so much, but in the frame of mind, more to the point. He's a quality operator, isn't he? And we know that. We've seen it before.
Another international.
We're just looking at one who's, who's high class operator. You scratch your head. It's injuries really that are keeping him from not performing in the Premier League regularly, isn't it? Leicester must be delighted to still have him at the club. Moved into the captain's role as well now, hasn't he? And rightly so.
I just think it's a better team when he's in it. It's a more calm team.
Definitely.
You know, when he goes in, he just obviously his class just comes to the top. You know, and I think with Winks as well, you know, the two of them, you know, when they're in the side, they sort of settle everybody down and.
Without being too dramatic. Other Championship players, when they come up against Winks and Pereira, and one or two others, they're like.
Harry Winks has played a Champions League final.
Yeah, exactly. They're thinking like, what are they doing in this league, almost, and how am I? You know, it's a pleasure to go up against that sort of player for your run-of-the-mill Championship. I'm not saying West Brom are that, but you know that's the quality we're talking about.
In the games that Harry Winks we saw earlier in the season, it was off the bench. It was his role, wasn't it? But whenever he came on, he just seemed to add a little bit of control. Is it that's the word that you like?
I'm pleased. You know, he's obviously still at the club because obviously there was all that noise about him leaving and was his head right and all that. But I think he's obviously the transfer window's shut. Now he's got his head on it and he seems to be performing, which is only a good thing for Leicester.
Scott says we need a fast start, get an early goal and gradually pick them apart. Otherwise, he says he fears another 0-0 draw like we saw at the weekend. Sean Anderton says, come on you Blues. 774 FN Clan says he likes Jordan James, Matt. He thinks he's a good lad, a good player.
Yeah, so do I. I saw him, I remember him from the time 2 seasons ago, we're referencing again, when Leicester, one of their best performances, wasn't it, I think, like in terms of the goals scored. But it was a really good game against Birmingham away, wasn't it? And Jordan James got his 2 goals and caught the eyes of probably people in the recruitment at Leicester City as well, and obviously since. But yeah, he's all action, isn't he? He's all over the park. Got different facets to his game. He's powerful. He looks athletic. He can play a bit. He can pick a pass. He's got an eye for goal, and he can get back and do the hard yards as well. He's got a lot of aspects to his game. I like him a lot, and from what I saw of the performance on Saturday, he hasn't taken any time whatsoever to settle in. Yeah. He's in the mix. He's backing himself, and he looks like a player who wants to get ahead in the game and help the club do that at the same time.
Yeah, speaking of backing yourself, there's a man that's not short of confidence. Steve, is it in Abdul Fatawu? We know how good he is. He's been on the score sheet already a couple of times this season. He has got the capability to win a game almost single-handedly, really.
Yeah, I think he had an opportunity on Saturday as well. He's customary, cut inside, then whip it in the far post, and I think Leicester's just got to get the ball to him and let him do his thing, and he tries and tries and tries, and then obviously he did it at Charlton away, and it came off for him, and just keep giving him the ball and keep letting him do what he does.
Yeah, well, again, there's, it sounds like we're sort of trumping Leicester up a little bit more than maybe we should, but it's not too far, too dramatic to say. Abdul Fatawu is not a run-of-the-mill Championship player, is he?
No.
He's got that something extra, that something special.
Yeah.
You think he's going to? You'd imagine he's only going to go and improve in his career. I don't think, you never know, but I don't think he's one of them who'll go stale and just sort of stumble along. I think again he looks like a player who wants to go and achieve things. Hopefully with Leicester City, but there's 3/4 players we mentioned already that many teams in this league would love to have in their side, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So that's not a bad starting point. On top of that, you've got very, more than decent quality around it. For me, the signs are good, and the mentality. I think the players have got to realise that as well. I'm sure the manager enforces that they have that belief that they are the best, if not one of the best teams in there. And go and prove that game in, game out, and don't just go through the motion. To do that, they'll come unstuck. If the mentality is right, I fancy Leicester strongly, whoever they come up against.
In terms of chances, in terms of shots, in terms of everything, they were the better team on Saturday, Steve, against Coventry. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get that breakthrough. The biggest chance probably fell, well, in fact, it did fall for Steffi Mavididi, didn't it? He played a 1-2 with Jordan Ayew, which you obviously don't see very often from a route one flick, but it's a big chance. Yeah,
it's a great ball from Ayew, and he tries to side foot that and just let it come across his body and try and side foot it. It's from the replays when I've seen there, he's just got to go with a bit of force and strike that instead of being like trying to caress it in the corner.
We had a chat about it, didn't we? We're not sure. There was like 3 different things that he was trying to do.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's taking.
Or he could have done, and he didn't do any of them really.
Yeah. Maybe he wasn't 3 minds.
Yeah, exactly. I thought myself, as it's coming across, if that was on the other side, exactly the same. He sweeps that with his left foot, like he would have swept it on his right foot, the other side, because that was his angle of his body position. Steve, obviously would be better judged than me, but in terms of opening up there, I think that was possibly the right thing to do as well. But he didn't do it properly, did he? He didn't open his body up until very late, which is why he stumbled. Yeah. Or as you said, Bates, he could have had a touch, but that's maybe pushing it a little bit. But
I don't think he knew what was around him to take a touch. I mean, it
was a late decision, wasn't it?
That's why your penalty spot in front of the goal. You're flat out. All you got to do is just get some connect on it for me, and try and smash it.
Didn't look comfortable.
No, it didn't.
At a decisive moment.
Yeah. We'll move on and talk about West Brom in a moment. Final word on the game on Saturday. When you look at it, I know you're not huge fans of XG, but Leicester had 3 times the amount that Coventry did. 17 shots to 11, 9 on target to 3. Possession was better. Do you just chalk that down to one of those days that chance goes in, or one of the other chances goes in? And actually, we've done well to keep a clean sheet against a side that scored 15 and 5 before that.
Yeah, I think that's the way. The manager, will sort of put it across to the players. They'll take a little bit of, not comfort so much, but consolation maybe from those stats that you just read out, because I don't know how much Marty goes on the stats alone. Sometimes listen, it's really a perfect world, is it? Nothing goes exactly how you want. It was much better to have a performance like that than be hanging on and nicking a draw. It's more confidence going. Sooner or later, on another day, things could go different. Hopefully that day is tonight, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does. For once, you actually have made sense. Right, let's hear now from a man who always makes sense. Marty Cifuentes has been previewing this Friday night game under the lights at the Hawthorns.
Yeah, difficult game. As always in Championship, they are a good team with a good manager. Always West Brom is a strong club in the Championship, and especially at the home, they are always. It's difficult to get points there, but I'm sure that we keep improving. If we keep improving the areas of the game that I was quite happy on the last performance, despite the result, I think that we can get something. But definitely, we will need to have a good performance if we want to get the 3 points.
You mentioned it there already, but the Hawthorns on any day, but also under the lights on a night game, poses a really difficult place to go.
It is, and again, that's for me very important that we play with personality. I think it's something that in some games perhaps we have not achieved this consistency that in the last game against Coventry, I think that for many minutes I could see a team that I could recognize, a team that is closer to what we want to be. Definitely there is a lot of areas that we can still improve, but it's going to be a good test because the atmosphere, it will be demanding. We play away against a team that is not far from us in the table. And after 2 draws, you analyze the situation. And against Oxford, you could say, it's not the worst outcome, but on paper, it's not a good result to draw away. Then at home, you expect to get a win to make this point away even better. But again, we play a decent game, but we miss the chances, we miss the last edge, and then it's suddenly only 2 points from 6. So then we need to make sure that we have a good performance and that we get the 3 points.
That was Marty Cifuentes, of course, there, speaking ahead of this game with West Brom. LCFC Will on YouTube says he thinks it'll be a 2-1 Leicester win. Scott says 3-0 for Taiwo, Ayew and Carranza to score off the bench. And we've had a nice message from Neil as well for you, Steve. He says, evening, remember Hartlepool 2008? I took my lad to his first ever game that night. Thought you'd won us all 3 points until being robbed on the 90th minute. You were my lad's favourite player from that night.
Oh, fantastic. I can't remember the game, but I'm glad I made his night.
We'll play it anyway.
Yeah, thank you very much. 2008.
17 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't remember it, but you know this last night.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm sure you do remember the Hawthorns, obviously scoring that hat-trick there. It was an easy place to go that afternoon. It certainly won't be tonight. I even remember two seasons ago, Harry Winks scored in the 95th minute. They just equalised it. Notoriously, and there's all the great escape season, the late goals there. Leicester have got a really good record, actually, at the Hawthorns, but it's never seems to be an easy game. It's always quite late. There's always drama, and I'm sure you'll be expecting the same again tonight.
It's the type of place where you go, and you think you're gonna have a tough game. Because the way they play, they pass the ball, the way they've always passed the ball, they're always going to be up thereabouts, and everybody expects them to be playoffs, so automatic. So it's going to be a hard fixture tonight, but it's under the lights and nice. I don't know about you, but I used to love playing under the lights.
Yeah.
On a night, Tuesday night or a Friday night. This is a Friday night, but the atmosphere will be great, and the lads will be well up for this.
There's no Jamie Vardy this time either. He liked a goal or two,
Yeah,
didn't he, against West Brom? But I can remember a few. I think Timothy Castagna's first goal, wasn't it? And was it his debut for the club?
Yeah.
I think it was, wasn't it? First game of the season, and they're a Premier League sort of outfit, aren't they? West Bromwich Albion, historically, in terms of the setup, the structure of the club. So they'll be champing at the bit tonight, and it's going to be a big challenge for the Foxes, but. It's a sort of test that they've got to come through, and I'll back them to. I'll back them to tonight. To be fair,
yeah, it's a test, obviously, that you can watch with us here on Fox's Hub. There are still a number of packages available for you throughout this season for you to follow all the action with us, be that watching it, be that listening to it. So the international seasonal pass is now available for £180. That they get your game passes basically for you to be able to watch pretty much all of the games throughout the season. Following us is Matchday Live, of course, and if you're listening here in the UK, your best bet probably is a Listen Live pass. There are monthly ones available for you for just under £5 a month. That means you won't miss a kick. And we've got Ewan Roberts on co-commentary duty for us this evening. So if you're wondering where Jerry Taggart is, he's jetted off somewhere. So Ewan is on co-coms for us. Final few words on it then, on the game rather tonight, Matt. We've been talking about how it is a tough place to go. We've been talking about Leicester's quality. West Brom themselves have quality. They have lost the last two. They'd started well before that. I guess it's now up to Leicester to continue West Brom's losing run, if you like.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you don't want to be making a definite prediction, do you? Really, it could go any which way. But like I say, I back Leicester to go out and produce a performance tonight. But West Brom are stiff opposition, really. They're under the new manager. They've got an influx of new players as well, which perhaps goes some way to explaining the first couple of results and settling in. But I think they're going to be a force in the top region of the division this season. So it's a big game. Like Steve says, Friday night. What an encounter, really. East West Midlands derby, if you want to add a bit of spice in the mix, if you want to try and build it up. But two big clubs who are who are striving to get back where they both believe they should be, and for that reason alone, there's plenty on it. Yeah,
two big clubs, and they'll be thereabouts. West Brom. So if Leicester can go somewhere like this, under the lights, under the TV cameras, and put a good performance in, you could be putting a performance in where you scare the rest of the league. Yeah,
a win would be a very big win, as you say, like that.
Yeah, hopefully so. As we said, you can follow all of the action with us on Fox's Hub. Thank you to Matt and to Steve. We'll hear from these guys again at half-time and then again at full-time, where hopefully we'll be talking about a Leicester City victory. We're going to hand you over, though, now to our commentary team via a little explainer of what is available to you on Fox's Hub this evening.
If you are watching on lcfc.com, just sit back and relax. If you are watching on social media, the live stream will finish shortly. If you want to continue enjoying our coverage, you'll need to head over to lcfc.com/Fox's Hub and purchase one of our game passes. If you are watching in a territory where the game isn't live on TV, you'll be able to watch a live video stream on Fox's Hub. Please visit lcfc.com/territories to check. If you can't find your location, live audio commentary is still available. You'll need to have an lcfc.com account before you purchase your Game Pass. If you already have one, please sign in and select your product at lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. Select the Buy button and you'll be taken to the payment page. Once you've followed the simple payment steps, press Continue at the bottom of the screen and you'll be taken to the Fox's Hub homepage. If you purchased a video pass, please select Watch Live from the Fox's Hub drop-down menu. If you purchased a Listen Live pass, please select Listen Live. If you purchased a seasonal or monthly video pass and the game is not being shown in your territory, please select Listen Live. If you are having a payment or technical issue, please email Leicester TV Support at streamamg.com. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the match.